Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. It's Chris and D-Palm here. We are here to review Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow for this week. Starting with Legends of Tomorrow first. We got Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 16, Doomworld. The Legion of Doom rewrites history after obtaining the Spear of Destiny, potentially changing the Legends forever. This show, man. Got to give it to him.
Look, this is how you revitalize a show in one fell swoop.
First of all, there are so many things in here. Like, even them naming this Doomworld, and then Thawne kind of setting himself up like Doom did in Secret Wars, where he's basically can control everything and made himself like the god of everything to overcome there are so many parallels to that, and that's that's Marvel, but you can tell somebody who wrote this episode loved the fuck out of that shit because it reeks of that so much. But even on its own, I mean, nigga, they did the Hall of Doom.
Yo, they turned Star Wars the Hall of Doom. Like, you just showed me that, and I'd be like, this is a great episode.
But because it reminds you of the crossover episode where they had the Hall of Justice. You're like, oh, I know, oh, that's cute, that's nice, that's a nice little Easter egg. Okay, cool. But then when they turn Star Labs into the Hall of fucking Doom, I'm like, okay, you guys really do know what you're doing here, you guys. Like, I was grinning so hard when I saw that. I
can't believe it. It's honestly and I've seen some reviews. People, they didn't go far enough. They went far enough because if they make it unrecognizable, then it's harder for us to connect to it. But they kept some of the core tenets alive, and I like the fact that Thawne kept the legends around to toy with them, and it's another episode where, and at least in the very beginning, we get the villains taking that center stage and watching their chemistry and how much fun those actors are, and it reminds you I would watch a season of Legion.
Oh yeah, I'd watch this season of Legion too. And so even the things that you knew when watching this, at some point the Legends get their memories back and they realize it, and they try to fix reality and go and try to stop Thawne. And you're thinking to yourself like they did something that I think a lot of shows need to realize. You need to be self-aware. You need to be aware that you can only do something, and I think that might be one of the things that has hurt the Flash this season as well. In addition to the uneven pacing, at some point, when you keep going back to the well of time travel, you're gonna have people going like, "Motherfucker, stop! Like, this is being stupid." You have people doing the same thing over and over and over again, and nobody going, "Hey, that's fucking stupid." So in this case, you're like, "Okay, wait, you kept the Legends alive? That's fucking stupid." And you're like, "Oh wait, no." Like there are Legion that some of the Legion think the same thing. Like Malcolm Merlin is like, "You guys are being stupid. Like this is absolutely stupid. You should kill them. You shouldn't be toying around with them. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna come back and bite you in the ass." And
I like that they kind of addressed it with Leonard Snart saying to Rory, "That's the reason you and your friends are still alive, because of the deal you made."
Right. Well, that, and two, because hey, it makes sense that Malcolm Merlin would say like, "This is stupid. We shouldn't do this." But it also makes sense that that Thawne and Damien Dark would be the one to be like, "Oh no, I like toying with them more." It fit. So yeah, me and the audience goes, "Guys, you guys are doing the stupid villain thing, and this is stupid." But it also fits each of the villains. It fits that Damien Dark would do this. It fits that Thawne would sit here and play with his food and shit like that. It fits, and also fits that Malcolm Merlin to be like, "No, guys, this is dumb." And also fits that Snart to be like, "No, you guys really shouldn't be doing this." Like, remember when Snart was like, "Hey, you really shouldn't be doing the monologue right now. You should probably just kill her."
Yeah.
That kind of self-awareness, though, because again, it was stupid. It's like, Damien, okay, you have your magic back. You have Sarah Lance dead to rights. Just kill her. Just do it. What are you doing? You shouldn't do the monologue. You should really stop doing that. You should really just kill her. And then after they escape, he goes, "It was a good monologue, though."
It was a great monologue, and I love the fact that the first thing he said is, "The first thing I did in this reality is get my magic back." I'm like, "Well, right. That was smart."
Right. I mean, it everything they did made sense. It made sense that that Mick was bored. Like, hey, wait a minute. So you set the reality so we can do all these scores, but there's no chase in it. There's no, at any point, the cops show up and we just go, "Oh, okay, Mr. Snart, go about your business." That's not fun anymore. You know, that like, but it made sense that Snart would like it because Snart gets to set up and these heists and do these heists with never have to worry about ever getting caught. So we just keep doing heist after heist because that's what it is for him. It's just doing the heist. He doesn't care about. He doesn't want the chase. He doesn't want the chaos that Mick actually likes. Mick likes the chaos. Snart doesn't though. So it would make sense that he would have everything planned out to the point that he can do all these heists, but he owns the city, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. It's basically his big playground. But Mick is gonna be bored with that. So
it's here for the thrill, man.
Right. Like that's the thing. It's the he likes the unpredictability of it, where that is not Snart whatsoever. Snart does not like unpredictability
at all. Starts down to the minute, like we need to move quicker. But as soon as the cop show, I was like, oh, little carnage. But you're right. Like Mick's here for the carnage. Mick's here for the shootouts in the bright lights and the fast cars. Like Snart's here to see a plan go off beautifully.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Like it was so weird. The cops were like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Snart, go about your business." It's like he just robbed really? We're just gonna let him walk off of this? But yeah, it makes sense. I mean, and even down to Snart saying, "I trust nobody." He put a GPS in Mick. Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
that was so perfect. It had been set up so well through the character they'd established.
Mm-hmm. Like it makes so much sense. Like where all of them were made sense, even down to like, hey, Malcolm Merlin, he has his son back. Thea likes him. Like as Thawne said, or was it Thawne? Yeah, Thawne said you can clap. Yeah, Thawne was definitely being a dick, and yeah, but yeah, man, like I just like how they set all of them up, and how some of them. I mean, again, they weren't happy, but because Thawne. One thing I did enjoy with this episode that I don't read reviews of this, so I don't know, maybe some people complain about this. I like how they didn't go into too many details about how they got to this world, because you got to understand, you got to think about it. Hey, listen, they all had the spear, they all were grabbing the spear. So how did this reality come about? Because it seems like some of the legends weren't happy. Like Snart was okay with what he was getting, but Malcolm Merlin definitely wasn't 100% happy with what he had. Damien Dark, I guess, kind of, sort of was, but not really. And Thawne, but it seemed like this is the world Thawne created. So it made me wonder. It's like, okay, well, if all 5 of you guys had, control of the spear at the same time, how did one reality get to overwrite, 4 others? And I like the fact that
I thought it was less like they were unsatisfied or not happy. It was more that they were unsatisfied, which speaks kind of to the nature of being a villain, that nothing's ever good enough.
Yeah.
Like they created a world where Malcolm got his family back in his hand. They created a world where Damien Dark had vanquished all his foes. They created a world where Leonard Stark could pull off any heist he wants, and they're still unsettled because of that weird aspect of humanity of that even when we get what we want, we're not truly satisfied because we know how we got it. And with Merlin, it was that nagging of why are they still alive? It's a loose end. With Dark, it was the inability to fully because even like the Felicity Smoke, like he likes having people to hunt down. Right. Like he was uneasy with it all. The first thing he did because he didn't trust Thawne was go get his magic as a security blanket. Snart didn't trust his best friend. He put a tracker in Mick. Like these are people who are continually searching for the perfect at the expense of the good, and that's why this being good, no matter who's like the central driving force was, it was never going to be good enough. Well, even Thawne, let's say that Thawne created this, the thing he's still fighting to do is to destroy the spear because he's still uneasy with it all. Well,
and not only that, but it goes back to that episode we said the first time Damien Dark and
I would watch that show.
Yeah, yeah. It's a dog who worked for the illegal assassins. Yeah, it's a dog who worked for the illegal assassins and got magic. And yeah, I'd actually kind of watch Damien Bark, So, oh god, now I got all these images rolling through my head, yo. I'm gonna shoot a short with.
Someone call Berlanti. Have I got a pitch?
Yeah, listen, just hear me out.
Right? Animated one of those CWC shows.
I have the world
animated show. Right. Damien Bark.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Just give me 10 minutes. 10-minute episodes. We're good, yo. I think we can do a lot with this. So Damien Dark and when Damien Dark and Malcolm Merlin showed up the first time, remember our thing was, oh man, it's kind of cool, but they're being kind of henchmen to Thawne. And when you look back at it, I think they even mentioned in this episode. Look back at it, it's like, wait, are we like? Snart was like, are we? No, it was Mick. And Mick was like, we're being summoned by Thawne. Is that what we do now? We're summoned by this man. Like, you gotta think about it. Like, Thawne set himself up to basically be above all the legends again. I mean, all the Legion again, and they're not happy with it because again, like you said, they all want to be the man on top, and so there's always gonna be something negative, and it's always gonna be their downfall, and like I said, like it made sense. Like I said, that's why I'm like, I'm okay with them not giving me more details as to how that happened. You could even go with the fact that, hey, Thawne kept the spear, but remember he destroyed the book that Malcolm Merlin got that allowed them to use the spear. So it could be
a great little out for them, by the way.
Right, which could mean that Thawne used the spear again. Without them knowing.
I think they use it. I don't overcomplicate it because we only one episode left. I think they used it the one time, but you're right. I think Thawne's vision guided it, and they all had input, but it was Thawne's vision. Yeah, so it's like, so many things, and then he destroys it, and I love the fact that, and jumping to the end of the episode, I love the fact that they actually destroyed it. Like I didn't expect to get pulled. At the end of this episode, I'm expecting them to, okay, fine, they'll work it out, they'll fix it, everything go back to normal, and then he drops the spear. I'm like, oh, okay, no. Because at the time we don't know where Hunter and the ship is. So you're like, oh well, no, maybe they transported it. Maybe like, he doesn't know this, but maybe Rip had gotten them together, and that didn't really. Oh no, they really destroyed the spear. Yep. Oh, and Thawne did that. He's like, yo, you know what? I'm not even gonna kill you guys now because there's nothing you guys can do. You guys don't have your powers. You guys don't have any way to deal with me. I could kill you right now, but I find it better just to see you guys knowing that no one will ever believe that this is the reality you're supposed to be. Oh, and by the way, all your friends are dead. Thank Malcolm. You can thank Damien Dark for that. His trophy case of heroes. That was a great little touch too. Yeah. Him talking to Sarah and be like, yo, my favorite is killing Laurel Lance again. Just like, oh, you're an asshole. Like, you're such, like, it's weird. Like on the like, oh man, like you forget sometimes out of, you had the legion of villains, but next to Thawne, like Damien Dark is the next, like he's pure evil. There is no redeemable qualities of Damien Dark. Like you can look at Malcolm Merlin and go, there's something there. Like he has. Like, what did Malcolm Merlin do? Did he set himself up as some kind of criminal leader going around killing people? No, he got his family back. Yep. That's what he wanted. He got his family back. And not to say that he's... Thawne just wanted to not be erased. Right. Damien Dark just wanted... He wasn't fucking doing too much. Right. But even Thawne's like, he did it to not be erased, but at the same time... He's also set himself up to basically, if you think about it, kind of be the man that he you still see there's that insecurity of him, and we haven't seen it because we've never seen that version of Barry Allen on the show yet. But you can definitely see this is basically, Earball Thawne trying to be the man and be better than Barry Allen, what Barry Allen becomes. Right. That's our first real peek into the psychosis of Eobard Thawne. Yeah. Like, all the things that we've seen with Thawne, we've seen, he's very fast and he hates Barry. We've never seen the depth of why. This is the first peek behind the curtain I hope we get, because for you and I who know from the comics, it all stems from, why can't I be Barry Allen? Yeah. And that's what this is. And that's where the hate comes from. That's his particular brand of crazy. And this is the first time they've said he doesn't just want to kill Barry, he wants to be Barry. Yeah. He wants to be that important person, because think about when he asked for the other Legion to show up, and he's like when he asked for it was I think it was, I don't think Damien was there, so I think it was just Snart and Mick. He was like, oh yeah, hold on, I gotta talk to the president, and they're just like, really you're talking to the president? Like, it's so overcompensating there, and like you said, this is the first real peek at that. And it was amazing. Shout out to the most evil shit in the world, keeping that Cheeto Hitler as president. You bastards. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
He goes, "Sorry, Mr. President." He says, "We'll talk at one of your hotels later."
Oh shit!
I was like,
oh shit!
He says, "Yes, we can play golf next week. We'll speak at one of your hotels soon."
Oh man!
The darkest timeline, Chris.
Oh, you assholes! Well, hey, but wait. So people will look at, oh yeah, but that makes Trump look even worse because it's like in the version of the world they have, Trump is such a terrible president. He's basically answering to, Earbud Thawne and doing what Thawne wants him to do, and oh god, yeah, and oh god, what an asshole.
I'm sure it could have been any hotel-owning, golf-loving president. I'm just saying we got one.
Any of them, any of them, the ones we've had in history. Pick one. Anyone, yeah.
It was some petty small shit by these writers, man.
Yeah.
You just want, hey, we may not be living in the most evil timeline, but certain aspects of our timeline have slipped.
Mm-hmm. I like Mick this episode too. When Nate asked him, "Why'd you save my life?" Because I'm an idiot. And then I like how when every single one of them gets memory back, they punch Mick, and Mick basically goes, "All right, that happens one more time." And I'm like,
he's like, "All right, that's about enough of that."
Right. But I like that every single one of them had the same reaction.
The first three, he's like, "I had it coming. You know what? I deserve that. Ow, but I deserve it. Okay, that's it. I'm done."
All right, you guys got your free hits in. All right, we'll deal with it. And I do like the fact when Sarah was like, you guys stay here, we don't trust you anymore. I'm like, oh, you guys didn't learn your fucking lesson. This is what got you guys in the trouble in the first place.
Now, and then I see what you're saying. Also, he just fucked him over.
Oh no, he did. No, he did.
Like that. It's not like that didn't just happen. Like I'm team like y'all fucked over Mick originally. I'm also team like, hey man, all due respect, we can't trust you right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean I get that, but also there's no realization from what they also realized too. Like you guys never trusted him though. Like when she was like, we trusted you. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, and I get that. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I get it. I get why she did it. I'm just saying, at some point, Legends got to come together that you guys never really trusted him to begin with, and you kind of treat him like a dick. Like you did the same thing, and I like that what they did at the end where I'm like, hey, listen, I think when Mick realizes like, yo, Snart doesn't really treat you like a partner either. He talks down to you way worse than the Legends ever did.
Right.
Like, and I think that's part of the thing that makes it, and then it was Amaya that kind of comes into like, no, I believe in you and stuff like that, and that's why what what Snart did was good God, okay, that was pretty evil. We haven't seen him freeze and shatter somebody in a long time. What was his dad, the last person?
The cold gun actually works like a goddamn cold gun for once. I was like, well, thank you. You know what? I've been bitching about this for 2 years. If it took us losing Amaya for me to get the cold gun back, all right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you did. I mean, yeah. And when it happened, I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And then he's just, his reaction to it and him just being so, oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys having a moment there? Just, I know
it was perfect start.
Oh, I know you're broken all of the pieces of it. I was like, as soon as he said pieces, I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch, don't do it. Don't fucking, oh, you asshole.
Okay, I want everyone to hear Chris lie on the podcast. Chris is well-known building agenda. Was he A, saying don't do it, or was he cheering? I let the listener be the judge. You can lie to me. You can lie to yourself. I only lie to listeners.
You can't. All right, you're right. All right, you got me. All right. So I was kind of hoping for him to tip it over, and he did. And I was like, because in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh, is it going to be one of those moments that like, well, you guys only have like 30 seconds to save Amaya, and while we're doing that, we're going to sneak out in the background. Like, I really thought that's what they were going to do. Like, I didn't think they were going to shatter it. But when he did, I was like, oh, this episode is not going the way I thought it was going to go. And I was so pleasantly surprised and pleased with that. Like, it was, that was so good.
Can we talk about some of the recastings in Doomworld? Ray as a janitor is amazing. Do you know how many toilets I've cleaned?
Right. Hey, listen, I love that Jax was bossing around Stein. Listen, I'm sorry, but
it felt like such vindication.
oh my god! After the season I've been telling you guys, I don't fuck with Stein like that. So seeing Jax boss him around like that was just, and him being like such a like a little just like weakling. Oh, I loved it so much, man. It was just I'm not gonna lie, yo. I loved Doomworld Jax, yo. Oh, it's your daughter's birthday. Oh, okay. Take night off. Matter of fact, take the entire week off. Take just the way he set that up and the way he just was just berating him. Oh man, it made everything that Stein's done this season that pissed me off worth it, yo.
Just this 1 hour of vindication, right?
Yep. Yeah. So.
I like that Dark would keep Maya and Sarah as bodyguards because that makes the most sense of anything anyone's done in the entire episode.
Yes.
I like that Nate was basically himself still.
Yeah.
Who else? Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they kept him around. I loved the level of snark between the Legion, like to the point where I'm like, bring me a Legion show. And while I do think this ends with Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, and Saturn Girl showing up next episode, I do think that happens. I think that if you want to do a Legion of Doom show, I'd watch that too.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Although it pretty much lasts, maybe 3 episodes before they turn on each other, like they did this episode?
Oh, but that'd be the best part, just the ticking time on when they're turning on each other. Mm-hmm. You know the turn's coming, it's all about how they pull it off.
Right. So, and I didn't know what they had done with Gideon and Rip Hunter until the end where you see what you're like, okay, that was good. Like they miniaturized the Wave Rider and he literally has it set up on his desk like a prop. Like Damien Dark is an asshole.
No, I thought it was in Starlab. It was Thawne.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It's Thawne. Like what that? Wow, that is just.
You know what that was for me? That was Psychopaths Keep Trophies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, yep, that's Thawne the Psychopath. That's the crazy person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, the 3 that didn't, Mick Snart and Malcolm Merlin. Go figure. You know.
Oh, and a shout out to Thawne solving global warming, by the way.
Oh no!
This is what evil Thawne's like. You know, I'm gonna save this planet.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about like when I said it. It reminded me of Doom and like the Doomworld stuff and the stuff that Doom did. Anytime Doom's taking over the world, yeah, he's been a dictator. He's still a bad guy, but he solves global warming. He solves global hunger. Ends pollution. Like Thawne, had cold fusion and like he does all this stuff. But it's like, yeah, but you're still evil. Like. Your good deeds, and again, it goes back to him trying to be Barry Allen. Your good deed don't outweigh all the evil you've done, and the fact that you are still evil. You are still doing evil here. I did think it's still interesting that the black everything that's happened with the spear. The Black Flash is still around, still trapped.
I'm glad they touched on that. They had to, I think, but I think that it led that. The whole thing led to my second favorite line of the episode. You already said my first. When Merlin said, for what it's worth, I thought it was a very good bad guy monologue. Mm-hmm. Thawne's, do you have any idea how infuriating it is to know that Merlin was right? Mm-hmm. They really nailed, like, Malcolm Merlin, not to distract from the Black Flash, but they really nailed Malcolm Merlin in this episode to the point where I think you and I had kind of gotten bored with him on Arrow. Mm-hmm. But the over-the-top, like, he turned almost to a cartoon villain on Arrow. They kind of grounded him here with his one desire being his family, and they played him in a way that made me interested in Barrowman again. Yeah,
I mean he's always been an interesting villain to keep around because he's always had his motivation is usually different from other. It's usually much smaller than other villains that we've seen. The biggest thing he's ever done on Arrow was the Undertaker in the season 1. Outside of that, though. Everything he's done since then has been much smaller, much more calculating, and he plays a long game other than any other villain we have. And you're seeing that here with him. It's like, you don't really know what else he's working on. Like, what else was he working on? He didn't just get his family back. Because, again, just like every other villain, he's not happy. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Malcolm Merlin all of a sudden is just a family man now? Come on. He's doing something. He's working because again, it's in his DNA. The difference with Malcolm Merlyn is he always does it so you don't know. You don't know until Malcolm Merlyn wants you to know, and then you're like, oh, oh shit, what's going on here? Oh wait, you were doing this the entire time. You are fucking evil, So yeah, man, yeah, really great. What else was this? Like I said, I just really, really enjoyed this episode.
It was fun. It was. I know it's the penultimate episode, and maybe you could argue that it should have felt a bit more weighty, but I thought it did a really good job of capturing the energy of the season.
Oh man, I don't say
we're going to lean into the time travel, the reality warping aspects of the concept, but at the same time, we're going to present the characters that you know and love and that we've made you care about in ways that make you care about them even further. And they did it. I thought this was full marks. Like if we gave out grades, it'd be a high graded episode because they accomplished all that. They kept it fun. They gave us weight with the destruction of the spear, with the death of Amaya, and with the revelation of Shrunken Rip. Excuse me. And by the way, they never turned Gray back.
Yeah.
They still Doomworld Gray.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they gave all these aspects, and they set the table really well for even a promo show, a pretty interesting finale.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know. I think it was pretty weighty considering the fact that you don't want to get to the point where you still want to keep the tone of the show what it's been, right? You don't want to turn the show into Grimdark Arrow, which we'll get to Arrow this week, but yeah, I mean you can't do that. You can't outdark Arrow anyway. So you give us this penultimate episode where, like, I don't feel like I felt last year with this show that I didn't know how it was going to end. Like, you kind of knew what the ending was going to be and how it worked out. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they figured this out. And I don't know how they correct this. And their whole thing now is, oh no, we can go back. We can go back in time to be. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, and they're like, yeah, but if we do that, won't we like collapse time in on itself and do? Yeah, there's problems. Like, there are no good answers here. Like this, if this was a movie, this is basically the end of Empire Strikes Back, yo. The villain won. Like, Thawne walks off laughing, going like, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I can kill you guys all right here, right now. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna let you live though, because that's even worse. Fuck it. Enjoy your lives. Nobody will ever believe you. And even turned to the Legion who turned on him and was like, yeah, I'm disappointed in you guys, but nothing you can do about it either. You just, I could kill all. If my men didn't kill you, I could kill you all myself. And you're like, yeah, that's true. That's right.
He did kind of win.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other speedsters. For what we know, looks like Damien Dark took out the Flash. So it's like, Damien, you don't even have just nobody you can lean on. Like, you got nothing. You got nothing. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah, that was a great episode. I ain't got nothing else, man.
Huge fan of it. Huge fan of however they're going to close it out next week. Good decision by them to go at 8 o'clock next Tuesday and not to go against the Sherman tank that is S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, are they doing...
How they're going to be calling it next week.
Are they doing...
But, yeah, I'm legitimately excited for this finale, and I'll be tuning in live.
Yeah, are they doing one hour, or are they doing two?
Ooh, I thought it was just one.
It's probably be one. Yeah,
it's
probably just one. Yeah.
They're not stupid. They've proven that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so... All right, well, let's move on to Arrow. Let me see what we got for this synopsis here. We got Arrow, Season 5, Episode 18, Disbanded. Diggle and Felicity are shocked by Oliver's decision to ask Bratva for help in taking down Prometheus. Goddamn, Adrian Chase done broken fucking Oliver, yo.
But the best part about it, and I know this is going to probably be all over the episode because the episode kind of moves a lot of different directions. His friends that he deemed hurt by him were the ones propping him up, and I was like, that's just great storytelling. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, him finding his center, not because he was able to send them all away and do it on his own, but for them to prove to us on the page, if you will, or on the screen, that he needs the people he's put around himself. Like, it's just bravo.
Not only that, but again, it does with the theme of what the season has been, which is coming in full circle with the first two seasons. You know, and it makes sense that the person who really gets to him is Diggle. Like for I think for seasons 3 and 4, it wasn't a problem to me, but I know those are the two seasons that people don't like the most. One of the problem was you started having Felicity be like the moral center for Oliver and be the one that, oh well, no, Oliver, you're not like this, stuff like that. But you got to forget, it was Diggle. Diggle has been the one there from day one. Before there was Felicity, there was John Diggle. You know, because he was a bodyguard for Oliver Queen, and he's the one that was looking to slip and stuff like that. So it's always been John Diggle, and so Diggle's like, listen, man, I have just as much right to talk to you about this as anybody else, man. I give him 5 years of my life to you on this. You don't get a chance to tell me it's over, it's done, you pack it up, I'm protecting you. You don't get to do that after 5 years. You know? And you're right. Like, I like the fact that it's his friends, it's the people he decided were holding them, you know, were liabilities, and he was hurting, going, no, man, like, you need us. And the city needs us, and you can't do this. And what I really liked about it is, and I think that this season, that's why the flashbacks have been so much better, it really parallels what they did with the flashbacks with him and Anatoly.
And the flashbacks. So normally in this show, over the last 5 years, the flashbacks have either shown something thematically or something material to the plot that they established in the past, and Oliver either relearns the lesson or teaches the lesson to someone else, or grabs that Deus Ex Machina and brings it to the present day. This is the first time, not the first time, this is probably the best way I've seen them used, in that you see Oliver's growth away from what he was in that flashback, from being the Hood, from being this killer, and growing as a person. And at the same time, you see Anatoly diminish as one because of the lack of Oliver. They show it twice that Oliver's inherently good for the people around him.
Yeah. And he doesn't see.
Anatoly became a worse person after Oliver left. And he mentions it. He knows it.
Yeah. He was like, yo, listen, I wanted you to stay to help me build, because I didn't, we need each other. You needed me to keep you from going too far, and I need you to keep me on track. We were good together, they juxtaposed it with, his final mission in Russia with Anatoly was going to get medicine to save sick kids. And this one, his final mission, if you will, with Anatoly as a friend in Star City, is letting Anatoly and the Bratva take drugs from basically sick people, and make a street drug. Like, it is, you see it, it's like, oh wow, you guys, like, now you're becoming the guy. Like, this is, like, Oliver didn't realize, like, this is the guy you don't want to be anymore. Not the Green Arrow. Like, you didn't realize it, but the person you're becoming now is the person you don't want to be. It's totally different. Yeah, man. It like you said, it was great storytelling, and it was a great way of seeing that. And I really loved how they pulled that off. And like, it really, I didn't think about it. I was like, but oh man, that might be part, because every time you see Anatoly, like, now in the present day, he always has this stand. He's like, you abandoned me, and you can never understand if your bond with Oliver was this tight, what happened? Like, I was waiting on finding something that Oliver did that made Anatoly feel the way he did, and I could never figure it out, because even in the flashback this episode, you're like, wait a minute, you guys ended on good terms. You helped him get back to Lee and you. So it's like, if he left with your blessing, why are you so standoffish with Oliver? Like, what is the fucking problem here? And I'm like, oh, you're kind of mad because you became a darker person because Oliver wasn't around. Because you had to.
Leaving was the betrayal.
Yeah. You didn't show it then, but you're looking at it now, and it looks back, all the talk that Anatoly was doing in those flashbacks about Oliver becoming a person that doesn't recognize. I was like, I think in a way, Anatoly was talking about himself too, because you got to think about 100%. It. All those times that Oliver was doing things at the Hood, in Russia with him, Anatoly was there. Like, he's watching Oliver do this stuff, and you're using the intel he's giving you. Like, it's like, oh wow, you're talking about Oliver not becoming that person, but you're doing the same thing by letting him do it, and not stopping him. You know, so yeah, man, that was yeah. So I've
really like. I'm someone who has been somewhat critical of these flashbacks in the past. I thought this was the best episode for them. As we near the end of them, interestingly enough,
right.
This has been the best usage of them, the most complete usage. Because, like, you're right, it's been 5 years of us wondering how this Baratheon life fell apart for Oliver. And the honest truth is, he left.
Yeah,
and it totally felt betrayed because he's a diminished person with Oliver leaving.
And like you said, Oliver's been hitting himself over the head, making him think that he ruined. And this is Adrian Chase's whole thing. You ruin the lives of people around you. But I think there's a lot of people that could say that actually you benefit a lot more people too. There's been a lot of things you've done to help people around you and stuff like that. And you know, you have to accept that. You can't let this guy win. You know, everybody's like,
it's
yeah.
You're 100% right, and it's something that until you said it just now, I hadn't really thought about. Prior to meeting Oliver Queen, Felicity Smoke was in data entry.
Yeah,
he was an executive assistant bouncing back from being a black hat hacker.
Yeah,
John Diggle was ex-military, is looking for himself, working private security for rich people. Laurel Lance was a drunk DA. Sarah Lance was dead.
Right.
Renee was Renee. We've seen that.
Right.
Curtis was floundering, needed a sense of purpose. Hell, Roy Harper was a thief. Thea was a drug addict. Like, these people who have come into to Oliver's closest circle, who've been most affected by him, you know, save for the dying part for some of them, have really come out better for it.
But even with the dying part, like look at what Sarah Lance did. Like you said, at one point she was just at the time she wasn't even a DA. Was she a DA? She was.
It was Laurel. It was not Laurel. Yeah.
Laurel she was a defense.
She
wasn't a DA.
She was pro bono work. Right?
Yeah, she did pro bono work because at the point she wasn't even working for the. That's what happened in season 2, where she became she got into the DA office, but then she went down the whole road of drugs and alcohol and things like that. She dies a hero. Yes, she dies, but she dies a hero. You know, she died. People going, "Wow, Laurel Lance stood up for the city and did all this stuff." Right. Before
a poorly made statue.
A really poorly made statue.
No, you know what? I've seen some statues in real life recently. I'm like, maybe they did spend some money.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just statue making losses in art in America in the world these days.
Yeah. Just yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you said, they all have in a whole lived better lives. Yes, they've been tougher lives, but if you're gonna live a really great life and be a hero and be all this stuff and be somebody, it's gonna be a little bit tougher. It's gonna require sacrifice. It's gonna require you putting yourself out there. All these people, again, like you said, we're just living these quiet, under the radar lives, being nobodies. You know, so you know, you just like you became somebody bigger, Oliver, than yourself, and had a mission bigger than yourself. You gave these other people that same drive to be bigger than themselves. You know.
Can I just tip my cap? I know you already did it. I wanted to give it a little time to breathe before I echoed you. This was David Ramsey's best work in 5 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For so long, they asked him just to be kind of the steadying influence, the brother of Oliver, the guy who, when like once or twice a season, will shake Oliver and play the mad figure it out card. This is the first time they really asked him to stretch those acting muscles to do a lot more than that. And he explained in that monologue why this show matters, why Oliver matters to the people around him. All the conversation we just had, he did it by himself.
Right.
Like he carried that scene.
Oh, yeah.
David Ramsey, that was the best moment we've really kind of seen on the show in 5 years.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to see him state like, hey, because normally, especially like you mentioned earlier with Felicity, when she was the moral sinner, it was, Oliver, you're better than this. Oliver, you need to do. David Ramsey, the way they approached it for Diggle and the way David Ramsey delivered it was never, you need to do this. It was, this city needs us.
Mm-hmm.
This world needs us. You've created something that cannot be replaced, that cannot stop.
Mm-hmm. I
know you're down, but it's bigger than you, me, and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
This is a world that needs us. It's a purpose that only we can fill. It was a mission statement that never felt like it's on you. It never felt personal, but it did feel like you've got skin in this game now. We've all got skin in this game, and I'll be damned if you let any of us walk away from that table.
And even what Diggle did, I mean, it's like it wasn't like they were going after Chase in their first thing. It's like, no, we're not going after Chase. It's like there are other things to do in this city. Hey, there's a break-in. They didn't know it was Anatolian them, but it was like there's a break-in. We got to go and deal with that. Like, it's just like they were trying to protect the city. It's like, Oliver, you can't just walk away from this. You can't just do that, you know. So, yeah. But I also understand, like, again, we saw Oliver kind of come back around and be like, okay, you guys are right. We do need to stop this and do there. But even he was like, you know, we're back in business, but it's going to take a while for me to put that green suit back on. So I even like the idea of him needing a moment because it's still, he's been through a lot. Remember, last week he got the brand burned off of him. It's like he might need a moment, yo. He might need a moment to recover. I like some of the little interpersonal interactions there. I liked when it was Dinah, Renee, and Curtis, and they were all talking about who the new Diggle is. And Renee was, I've been here longer. I'm the new Diggle. And Dinah was like, all right, fine. You're right. And Curtis goes, oh, she took the high road, so that's definitely more Diggle-like.
It's very Diggle-like.
Right? And I'm just like, yeah, it makes sense. I even like when Renee goes, like, seriously, why are we going to stop Anatolian them from killing Chase? Like, why don't we just let that happen? It's like, no, because while Oliver thinking that's what he wants now, I do know that that's him crossing the line. That's him going back to his old ways, and that's going to be something he's going to live with and he's going to regret. We can't let him do that. You know? And it makes sense that, hey, listen, Diggle's been there the longest. He's literally, like you said, been the brother. He's been there, done all this stuff, and been through hell with Oliver more than anybody else. You know, I'd even say more than Felicity, to be perfectly honest, because for a while there, when Felicity was there, she wasn't part of the team. She was just tech support when she would come in, and Oliver would come in. It's like, hey, I need this hacked real quick. This laptop with bullet holes in it. Can you handle that for me? You know, so Diggle's been there though. He's been in the trenches with Oliver, and so you know, Dig going like, no, I know him. He's not gonna. He thinks this is what he wants now because you know. Chase got into his head. He can't. We gotta stop him from doing this. And yeah, man, I thought that was really great. I love. I actually even cause I didn't get it at first when the Brafa attacked and Chase went off, and then Curtis like tackled him. I was just like, Kurt, you out of your goddamn mind? You can't fucking fight. What are you doing? And then I saw the T-Sphere come up and grab the stuff and go. I was like, all right, cool. All right, I'll allow it. Not bad. Like I'm really loving the use of the T-Spheres right now.
We're using Curtis's shitty fighting as a diversionary tactic now.
Yeah, listen, man. I'm really loving the T-Spheres now. Like we were begging for it since the beginning of the season. We were begging for it, and we got it. And I'm like, oh man, that's actually pretty great. I also like the idea that Vigilante. We still don't know who Vigilante is. Chase was using a face scrambler on the cameras. I was like,
so smart.
So I'm like, so if we don't get the I am Iron Man moment from Oliver Queen this year, he gonna use that technology, right?
That's his tech now, right? That's our. Like, I mean, you have my tech. Your tech. That's my tech now.
Because I was just like, because when Helix was like, oh no, he definitely used his mask up before. It's like, oh wait, so we can. He's like, oh, but he's using a face scrambler. I'm like, oh my god, why didn't we think of this before? We have everything else.
Also, shout out to the core technology.
Oh yeah. I was just like, oh wait, that we have that's so we don't and here's the thing, if Oliver does reveal himself, the rest of the team might not, so the rest of the team gets to use that, right?
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out the like that's Team Arrow's technology now, right? That's
one thing they're going to be using to open the season next year that we're not going to even question.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie, when Curtis and Felicity were breaking into core technology, I was like, wait a minute, why don't you guys have masks on? Like, I'm just like, this is pretty stupid. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why are you guys like Curtis, you didn't put your face paint on. Like, come on, dog. Like, like you guys are literally.
I will say this: I will say this for an episode that, I kind of felt the way about the Legends episode. I forgot to mention, but for an episode that felt like it was kind of all over the place with like an emotional center, but like 3 or 4 different heists and like arguments and interpersonal shit, they brought it all together really well.
Oh yeah, came together really well. Even down to Helix realizing, knowing that Felicity is Overwatch, and they actually have we called him that before? Curtis, Mr. Terrific. Yeah, I was just like, oh man, yeah, of course the hacker group knows. He was like, yeah, it took us like 8 minutes. It took us like 8 minutes.
Smart.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it took me like 8 minutes.
Took us 4 minutes to figure out his.
Yeah, like, come on, duh, it makes sense. So
sets up a pretty big bad for next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I will say, looking at the trailer, I'm really hoping that they don't have Oliver or whoever bailing Felicity out. I mean, I'm still thinking that she needs to be able to be the one to handle this herself.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, we've talked about that. So we'll see how it does when the show comes back. Agent Chase, man, he killed a person with a pen.
Bravo. I mean, like, this is the villain we needed.
Like,
this is the villain I didn't know I wanted.
Oh my god, like you finally get like, oh no, well they're gonna put it on, they're gonna put it out there. He's gonna be like, people are gonna know it's Agent Chase. All right, we got him dead to rights. So, oh no, he just murdered the 2 federal marshals that are there, and he's like, the scene with him driving back into the city, still covered in blood, with that song playing, at the police go the opposite direction with all these police cars. Like, that's how you end a fucking episode, dog. Like, that's how you end an episode.
Yo, so I get the plan was to like expose Chase and make him make a mistake, maybe have other law enforcement help catch him. You've cornered a very dangerous man. Like, I don't know if they really, if anyone said, hey, what happens if we don't get him the first time, like when we first outed him? Oh, then we're kind of fucked? Oh, all right.
You do realize what happened to Tobias Church, right? And how he slaughtered all the entire police escort that was there to take in Church. Like, dog, Chris, you need more men.
Chris, this nigga stabbed his wife like 2 episodes ago.
And I think, not sure, but the knife he brought in to the office with Oliver Queen, was that the same knife he stabbed his wife with?
In my head, it is. Until it's proven it's not. That's the same knife.
Because I'm just, like, he stabbed his own wife, dog. He don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck about no identity? Like, you've just made him mad.
Like, Agent isn't even his real name. He don't give a shit. Like, come on, dog.
You burned a throwaway ID.
Oh, we didn't mention this on. We didn't mention this on the Legend of Tomorrow thing, but they did throw a line in there in Legends about Malcolm Merlin having Nissa now living a life in this like a normal life in like Ohio or something like that. So yeah, yeah, I did like to throw in there because, hey, I've been missing Nissa, so you got to throw her back in there. So, yeah, man. Wow, yeah. I'm not even sure how you go forward. Like, you need a break after that. Like, after I watch Adrian Chase murder a guy with a pen, I need a 3-week break, yo. I'm not gonna lie. I need to take some time off. Like, and not just murder him. Like, he threw the pin behind him and it went straight into his. Like, I'm like, holy shit, guys! This show is. This is why Legends had to be a little bit brighter this week. Because, good God, man. Like, you murdered a man with a pin.
Everything else wants to be, like, I want to hear, like, can we brighten Arrow up? Can we brighten Flash up some? Because Arrow is taking care of the darkness quotient for a while. People are like, Supergirl needs to be more dark and weighty. Nah, dog. Go just watch Arrow.
And here's the thing, and this is a good, good segue into other things later on. But, we're always talking about, DC movies and being too dark and all, but you guys like Arrow. It's like, yeah, because Arrow still finds a way to put those jokes in there and put those moments in there that are lighthearted. And even with this season, with it being dark, the whole point is getting Oliver to realize that his light is there. Like, that's the whole purpose.
This is 5 years in, they've gone this dark.
Right.
This is not, they earned this darkness.
Right.
You can't just walk in and assume that shit.
Right. And even then, they're trying to keep Oliver from going that far, and they have. Right. They keep Oliver, like, it's, it's showing that there's a line there, that this guy is literally, Prometheus is literally Prometheus is literally the guy that Oliver thinks he is. That Oliver is punishing himself to be. That is what Adrian Chase / Prometheus is. It's like, yeah, like, Oliver, you're not Adrian Chase. Every person you've killed, for the most part, particularly if you've ever been an innocent person, you've beat yourself up about that. And I think you've only been really one innocent person you've actually had your hand in killing. That was, what was Felicity's boyfriend name? They don't give a fuck about no more. Is it Billy? I'm gonna call him Billy. Fuck it,
Billy something.
Yeah, fucking Billy Deadbeat. You know. So like everybody else, it's been people that have died, from the hands of others who are related to you. Like it's never been, and you take those deaths to heart. Like those deaths hit you hard. Adrian Chase literally killed his own wife. The woman that loves him, the woman that cares.
Time off of bereavement from work.
Right.
Adrian Chase ain't shit.
Right. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for giving me that bereavement time. And just like, come on. You know, Oliver still beating himself up with the reporter. You know, it's just like everybody's believing so much in Susan Williams. Everybody's believing so much in Oliver, and he's so harder on himself because he thinks he's gone too far, when honestly he hasn't. I think that's the difference here. That's how you can show a show being dark, but still having that hero light in there, and showing there's a line that the hero won't cross, and that even when he considers it, he considers himself, you know, too much and gone too far. So, yeah, absolutely, that was great. So, anything else you gotta say about Arrow?
No, I think that watching the juxtaposition of Anatoly all alone falling to these baser instincts, and Oliver being propped up by the people he put around himself consciously is just, it's my tip the cap moment for the season for this show. It's kind of like you've really nailed the storytelling here. After what some would say 1 or maybe 2 down seasons, this has been it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, man, this is slowly, quickly, like becoming like one of my top seasons, like if not my top season right now. And
it's my favorite season of Arrow, I think.
Yeah,
I think it may be my favorite CW season.
Yo, I mean, this has been a really, really good season. I think when people go back and really watch it, and not just go off, oh well, I gave up on it. Like go back and really watch this season and give it a chance. Like they did some really great things with this show, and they really brought things together. It's been, and especially towards the end of this line we're getting to. They've been doing some really, really tight writing, and I'm really happy for them. You know, them and
the best part about it is that they've been able to do it and revitalize the show and kind of reset some of the storytelling without saying the stuff that happened before didn't matter.
Yep.
Like you and I have done the character corner where we're like, we were going to cover these old issues of the DC comic, but they stopped it, so it doesn't matter anymore. They've kind of marvelized their storytelling in that, yeah, it wasn't the tightest storytelling in the past, but Damien Dark happened.
Mm-hmm.
But Oliver being Raish happened,
and
it matters and it counts.
And
they're able to adopt it and move forward with it and find the best places for it in their storytelling. And I'm still blown away.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right. Before we get out of here, a little rant from me. This is something. So this week, we've been talking about this before. You know, with comic sales are being down, Marvel sales are down. I think they had a retailer meeting. And there's a quote from one of the Marvel higher-ups, editors, or I don't even know who the guy was, a VP or something like that, talking about diversity doesn't sell. And like people, they're fans are saying that diversity and focus on women, they don't want that. I'm gonna come out and just say right now, that's a horrible quote. And there's more to it and more to what the Marvel people were saying. But that was just like, you should know better than to say some shit like that, and that's always going to be the part that sticks out. Just don't say that. You need to be better at that and smarter at that than saying some stupid shit like that. If you look at some of the covers of the entire event, there will be a lot of things in there that will kind of show you that Marvel isn't backing off of some of these newer characters, the diverse characters. They're not like Axel Alonso was talking about how what the Asian Hulk means to him personally and people he knows in his family and stuff like that. So like they're not going away. But the core of this all comes back down to the numbers aren't there. They just are. Like we can fuss at Marvel saying that diversity doesn't sell and coming to that. I think that's a stupid conclusion when you come to all that. But the fact is, the numbers they were selling, the numbers went down a lot, and you have these characters and people aren't supporting them, and you need to support them. And I've been down that road before. I'm not going to go down there right now. What I want to talk about is I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing, and this is mostly black male nerds. There's a certain level of anti-blackness and just self-hatred, and I don't even know what the fuck to call it. Like it's definitely, there's a lot of black women hate in there. That is having people spew the same arguments that the white fanboy racists have been spewing at the same time. I literally got in an argument with somebody yesterday talking about, they're happy that Marvel's gonna get back to the basics of storytelling, and they forced diversity. It's coming from a black person. Excuse me, they forced diversity? The fuck does that mean?
It's amazing when you see how much overlap there is between Hoteps and Klansmen.
Like, what the fuck does that mean? They forced diversity. When I asked that, it was like, well, they got rid of some of the older characters. No, they didn't. Odin's son is still there.
No, they just read the books. They want to get mad. You ready to touch on one of my things, so
Steve Rogers is still there. Like, Tony Stark's not dead. And if you're paying attention and reread, like, you definitely have the Tony Stark around, not in the normal form you have him, but he's still around. The only one that's really dead right now is Bruce Banner, and who the fuck was buying Incredible Hulk books? I'll be honest. Well, I mean, outside of the hardcore people, how many people were out there buying? Because at one point there was a retailer, white guy retailer online saying, going through all this stuff, and was like, yeah, I mean, they just got away from they got away from the people want the Fantastic Four. I'm like, since when? I didn't think that book was selling. You guys were buying Fantastic Four like that? Like, in numbers.
Because after Hickman left, the numbers fell off. We saw it.
Like, people were like, Sam Wilson, they forced, I just want the old stuff back. I want to watch Steve Rogers back. Tell me, when was the last Steve Rogers, storyline you read in Captain America? When was the last time you really were reading?
It's not about that.
When were you picking up, and when were you hearing about Tony Stark and Iron Man in a solo book? When were you reading that? You know, the last time I remember anybody talking about Iron Man and a solo book, it was the Extremis miniseries they did, and honestly, that was because they actually turned that into a motion comic on Netflix, and that's what most people were watching. They didn't actually get the book, the little minis. I think it was maybe 3, maybe 4 issues. They didn't get that. No, they didn't get that. You just watched a little little quick thing on there. People go all the way back to Demon in the Bottle. Like, do you know how long ago that was? So when you said, what are we talking about here? I just want the old stuff back. You weren't buying the old stuff either. You weren't. You don't even know you don't even know what the storylines were. So what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, they just did it all too quickly. Excuse me? Like, Miles Morales has been around. What was it, 2011?
Yes.
Like, people go, oh well, the stuff they did with Riri. I mean, I just want new characters. Here's the thing: Riri Williams is a new character. She's is a new character. They didn't take Tony Stark, make Tony Stark black and a woman, and all of a sudden you have a woman named Tony Starks. That's not what they did. They made a new character called Riri Williams, and she now wears.
You may or may not have cussed out Sharon Carter in her book this week.
Right. She has her own suit that she built. She's not even wearing Tony's suit. She made her own suit. You know what this reminds me? You guys love Miles Morales so much. This is the Miles Morales story. This is how Miles Morales came about. Peter Parker died. Then we got Miles Morales in Ultimate Spider-Man. Now all of a sudden, years later, you guys love fucking Miles Morales. But all of a sudden, Riri Williams somehow is too much too quick. Excuse me? The only difference I see here is it's a black girl. All of a sudden now, you don't like it. Wonder why. You don't like Jane Foster as Thor, even though Odin's son is around, you don't like Jane.
If you don't like Jane Foster as Thor, you're just a misogynist. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna parse it out. Chris is gonna like give you all the reasons why.
No, I'm not.
You're a misogynist because one, if you've been reading Thor, it's Jason Aaron, and you realize it's one long fucking story. Like, they finally reveal what he got told that made him unworthy, and it ties back to the beginning of Jason Aaron's run. And I literally almost spiked my tablet and was like, touchdown, nigga. I almost danced how good this storytelling is.
Well, you know,
but I don't like Jane Foster's Thor. That means you're clearly just not reading, and you want to get mad about something. You want to get mad about something? Get mad about some real shit, not about a comic you don't read.
Like, you went further. I agree with you. I'm like, you're just not fucking reading it. You're not. The line's been there. You guys, you know, even Black Panther's numbers are down, but why is the Black Panther number down, but then World of Wakanda numbers are even worse? So that means to tell me you're buying Black Panther, but you're not buying World of Wakanda. What could it be about World of Wakanda? Oh, that's right. It's written by a black woman, and it's centered on black women. Weird. Even some of you guys who don't like Black Panther and coach writing Black Panther, you know what I realized about Black Panther this week? I was like, oh, you know what? That story also centers black women. Yep. Weird. It's almost like there's a pattern here.
No one believed him.
Huh?
He said that when he started that it was going to be that, and no one believed him.
Yeah. It's almost like you guys have a problem with women. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. You telling me that Moon Boy was just your character and you just, oh man, they got Moon Girl now and I just can't. Really? So you're not buying. It's too much, right? Too much. Okay. You know, Kamala Khan is Miss Marvel because nobody was using Miss Marvel's name. They have Captain Marvel. You know, Monica is using Spectrum now. So like, why, like, again, I'm trying to figure out what the rules here are that is too much too soon and they're unrecognizable.
I've heard assholes say that Carol shouldn't be Captain Marvel, and I'm like, yo, you will deal with me physically if you say it to my face.
Like, I'm trying to figure out what the rules here are. What's so unrecognizable? I don't recognize these characters. What's there to fucking recognize? Like, what don't you recognize? Like, did you not recognize the Flash when Wally West became the Flash for an entire generation? Did you not recognize?
Chris, my Flash is not redheaded. He's blonde.
Did you not? Did you not recognize Ant-Man when he became Scott Lang in the easiest storyline? Like, he literally was a thief, stole the suit, and then in the whole like the 2 or 3 issues, Hank Pym goes, keep the suit. You're now Ant-Man. That's how that happened. That's how legacy characters used to happen, right?
It's so funny because I don't know if you ever watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the old Avengers series that I really loved.
Oh, there's
an episode called it's Enter the Eggman. It's basically the Scott Lang story. And I watched it with my fiance, and she goes, "Wait, is that what Ant-Man can be?" She literally just stole the suit. I'm like, "Yeah," and they fit it in 30 minutes. Huh?
Yeah. But it's not earned. They're rushing it.
He's a thief.
We did part 1 of Green Lantern. You guys want Jon Stewart so much in the Green Lantern movie. You guys sound like, when you're talking about these people of color characters, particularly the women characters, you literally sound like the people who the creators of Jon Stewart had to go and enter, like, no, it's just time to do this. We need to do this. We should have a black Green Lantern. Like, it's the right time for this. Absolutely. And they have to defend their choice. You're literally sounding like those people from the fucking 70s.
Right.
You sound like those people. You're making the same exact fucking argument. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Like, so what does it mean when you say, "Oh, you're not right, I don't recognize the character. It's too much. This forced diversity is too fucking much." What are you fucking saying? Like, I'm trying to figure. I'm having this conversation. Like, I'm getting mad. It's like, you're getting too sensitive and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not getting sensitive. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you're talking about because it doesn't make any fucking sense. You literally sound like one of those racist white dudes.
It's like I talked about it most recently on Unanimous Decision. It's code.
No.
It's poor, lazy fucking code. And when people get called out on their code, like, "Whoa, that wasn't code. That's how I really feel." You're speaking code, and you're mad that we cracked it. And by the way, you weren't exactly putting it through like a big cipher here. It was a pretty easy code to crack. You just hate anything that's not white and male.
The new code?
And even black people. Yep. Because that's how deep our brainwashing is.
That's the thing that's bothering me right now. Is most, like, when I see there are some black women out there who also have been reacting to the headline. Again, it was kind of a faulty, misleading headline because he did clarify later on. And I'm reading what they're saying. I'm like, okay, no, you're going a little further. They're like, hey, listen, bring the price down the books. I agree with that. Hey, do a little bit better promotion. Okay, I agree with that. There's some talk about, hey, you need to do a better job of getting some talent. Like the way you're getting talent here is kind of fucked up and stupid. And hey, huh?
The talent landscape changed so much with the creative own.
Yeah,
being an actual venue.
Yeah, again, there are legit arguments having. You know what? Not a legit argument. Man, there's too many events and crossovers. And I go, give me an example. Because here's the thing: the last two big crossovers you had in the universe, not involving X-Men, right? Were Secret Wars, which gave you all of these diverse comics. First of all, so when you say you didn't want the crossover, you getting Secret Wars is what got you all these other books, right? So shut the fuck up on that. The next one was Civil War II, and I've been still waiting for somebody to show me where any of their stories they were reading before Civil War II were directly and harmfully impacted by Civil War II. Show me the issues. We came on here
and celebrated how tightly it was done.
Show me. Don't tell me that it's too. Don't give me that same, because what you're doing right now is you're parroting the same bullshit that the racist white boys are saying. Show me the issue. Where did it happen? Because you know what you got out of Civil War II? Oh, yeah, you did lose Iron Man and took him off the board, but you know what you got instead? You got Riri Williams. So, again, you got one of the greatest issues of Sam Wilson with the funeral issue. You can follow the entire storyline of Civil War II by just reading Miles Morales and Spider-Man. Again, show me, and it does not impact the story that they were already telling in Spider. It's never done that. So show me where the story, this is too much to keep up with. No, it's not. You were reading Spider-Man before, right? Yeah. So why did you stop? Well, it's just you don't have an answer. You were reading Thor before, but you stopped. What? You were reading Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur before, but you stopped. Was it the crossover? There was no crossover. What are you? You were reading Black Panther and World. You said you were going to read World of Wakanda before. Those two stories didn't touch Civil War at all. So you can't blame crossovers. You can't blame events. They had nothing to do with those stories. So what the fucking issue? Oh, you realize that Black Panther focuses more on black women than T'Challa. Oh. And sadly, somehow the numbers go down. Okay. Interesting. Not like we've seen that before, where, focus on black women and women, and all of a sudden numbers go down because dudes are misogynistic assholes. Your sexism is showing. Your racism is showing. Your bigotry is showing. I'm sorry, it just is. It just is. Because there's no legit answer. You can't give it to me. The stories in Captain America now have been way more interesting than the stories you've seen in Captain America. Because you can't name a story. Unless you're heavy into it and you've been reading all of them, you can't name a story. You can't name the last time you picked up a Captain America fucking book. You can't. So, what's the fucking problem? And unlike they've done with, not like they just Sam Wilson got the shield out of nowhere. That was again a long storyline that you can trace back to when Sam and Cap first met all those years ago, to Sam Wilson's first fucking appearance. You can trace it all the way back then, because unlike what DC has done, where they just reboot the entire universe, like all that shit that happened before didn't happen. Marvel said no, all that shit did happen, and this is how we got in here.
And we're gonna keep building off of it.
So, again, what is it? Hey, now if you want to tell me, hey man, prices are too high. Like DC is selling their books at $2.99, Marvel's doing $4.99, $5.99. Hey, I get that. That makes sense to me. I can back you on that one and be like, hey, Marvel, bring that price down. Like I can go with that. But when you tell me it's events, it's too many events, when you point to
like we can't see sales numbers.
Well, and that's another thing too.
Sell, you liars.
So Nick Spencer was like, "Yo, you guys are saying I get one in Titan events up." He's like, "But that's when it sells. Like those books that are low numbers, you look at the numbers, the numbers go up when you have some kind of tie-in with the event. So you say you don't want events, but then you're not buying the books without the event. So what the fuck, man? You get mad at, literally people got mad at Nick Spencer. And I don't even remember exactly what he said about not punching Nazis. Well, so you're writing a book about punching Nazis, but then you're saying in public we can't punch. Like, really? That's your line? That's the line you draw with Nick Spencer and all the shit he's written so far with, like, he gives you one of the greatest comic book panels with all those black heroes at a fucking black church celebrating the life of a black hero who used to be Spider-Man, acknowledging that he used to be Spider-Man, used to be Iron Man, acknowledging that Rhodey used to be Iron Man, and your problem is Nick Spencer said on Twitter once that he doesn't like the fact that people are punching Nazis. Really? That's the fucking... You're using every goddamn excuse that doesn't make sense for why you're taking the line that the racist white dudes have. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's fucking bullshit. I'm tired of hearing this shit, man. Like, it just drives me crazy. Like, I have some guests coming on later on in April and May that we're going to be talking more about this, but it's just something that's been really driving me nuts. Seeing some of these black male run sites and black male run accounts, and it's just, they're one step away from going, yeah, man, these SJWs are out of control. They're one step away from that, yo. And I'm seeing it, and it's so fucking blatant. And you're not getting away with it. I'm sorry. It's so fucking obvious. And it's just driving me fucking crazy, man. Like, this shit that was driving me crazy this week. Like, oh, this is events, and we don't want any more events. We want to get back to normal storytelling. What the fuck? What's not normal about Riri Williams' story right now? Show it to me. Like, I can tell you why Mosaic isn't good. Because I've read Mosaic.
I could write an essay on why Mosaic isn't good.
Right. I can do that. But you can't tell me...
But way too many issues in that book, and I'd like to just considerably apologize to my own brain right now.
Right, but you won't do the same for Sam Wilson. You won't do the same for World of Wakanda. You won't do the same for Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. You won't do the same for any of the other books. But you'll go with some outside issue. Oh, well, is this and is that? And no, but you won't tell me why they're actually not good. So if they're good, then it's not that Marvel's saying they're going to get back to normal storytelling. That's not no. That doesn't fix your problem, because what's not normal about this? Oh, you mean white?
Normal's white. That's the entire point of this.
Because so many of you guys, even though you're black, you have this. You remind me. You remind me of the black Republicans. Like, there's this black Republican I saw one time come on, Glenn Beck's show. You're telling me why he became a Republican. It was this other bullshit story. He's like, I used to go to school all the time, and I used to have this. I would come with a briefcase, and the other kids would make fun of me because I had my briefcase, and they would say I'm trying to be white. And it was a white teacher who gave me, attention and did this stuff. And I started hanging with him, and then the Republicans, and they're the ones. I'm like, so you literally became a Republican because you got made fun of in high school by black people. Or, I'm sorry, in elementary school by black people. That is your villain origin story. At some point, you got made fun of by black people and got called, you sound white. And so you literally decided, well, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to take my ball and go over to the Republic. Again, hey, if you have a legit argument and a legit stance on something, that's fine. But a lot of this stuff comes down to, oh, I'm just being anti-black because, I'm an outcast. And, you're not actually reading the fucking books. You want Miles Morales in the movies. You want Riri Williams in the movies, but you ain't buying the fucking books. You're more, like, how does that fucking work? How? Like, I saw same people that were talking about saw the Spider-Man trailer, Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, was like, they're just doing Miles Morales' story because they're having a character from Miles Morales. They're having that guy. He's supposed to be Genki, and they're making him, they're doing Miles' story and Miles' character, stuff like that. Motherfucker, you're not even reading Miles' story right now. The fuck you talking about? They're doing Miles' story. How the fuck do you know what Miles' story is? You're not even fucking reading it. How? How does that work? You're not even fucking reading. You're not reading the book. How do you know what Miles' story is? How? How, Sway? The fuck? Come on, man. Fuck out of here, man. I'm just getting really pissed at this shit, man. I'm telling you, man, I remember what the 90s were. You want to talk about crossovers? I remember when you read a book and you read the next issue, it's not even a crossover, and it's an entirely different lineup. Something totally different happened. There's no connectivity between the last issue and this issue. And you're trying to figure out what happened. They're like, oh yeah, go read that book over there that you never know. You want to know what happened? You want to know why this character's dead now and not around anymore? You got to go read this now. That wasn't a crossover. That was just normal. That's how it used to happen. So I'm tired of hearing, oh, well, man, there's too many crossovers. I can't keep up. It's like, motherfucker, that's comics. And this is way better than it used to be. Way better. I went back and tried to read Into the Red Hood. Go try that. And I also find it interesting that DC's numbers are down too. And so are the numbers on their diverse books, and they don't have as many diverse books. But weirdly, nobody's talking about DC increasing the number of diverse books. Interesting. Anyway, you got anything else you want to add, man?
Oh, sorry. Blame Chris because I bought a Mass Effect, and blame Chris.
Hey, listen, I told you not to. And but how far are you?
I sent you a text. I sent Chris a text of the loading screen. He's like, I tried to warn you. I told you not to touch the oven. I told you. That's a direct quote.
I told you not to do that, but hey, listen, I understand. So.
This shit is good, son.
Listen,
yo, you know, I like a good story in like a book. Like, it feels like I'm playing a book. Like, my friend's like, yo, it feels like you're playing a television show. It looks boring. I'm like, maybe it does look boring, but I'm a nerd. So guess what? I'm gonna do all these side quests.
Look, man. I've realized I haven't done a main storyline quest in a long time, and I realized I might just go and do it and knock it out of the way so I can finish the story, and then I'm gonna start my whole game. Like, I've already plotted on starting my whole new game over again and creating a new character and taking even more time to go through everything. Like, I've already plotted that out. Like, I've already been
going slow, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just it's been so much fun, man. It's a problem. It's a fucking problem. So. Yeah, so good luck with that, man. So, I know what you're gonna be doing now that when we have some break times. We're not gonna be doing these shows all the time.
Oh yeah, a little time off. Yeah.
I know.
I'm gonna save the galaxy, baby.
I know. We talked about doing an Iron Fist review on Super Tuesday. It's coming because of the breaks for Arrow and Flash this week, and I think next week is the season finale of Legend Tomorrow. What's gonna happen is this Wednesday coming up. We're going to do Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is back, so we'll be doing our Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. review. We're going to do the Legends review in the place of the Flash review, so that'll also come out earlier this week. And then we're going to do Iron Fist. We'll have our Iron Fist discussion and review next Sunday, since we won't have any Arrow or anything else to record. And then I think in a week after that, we're going to be doing part 2 of Green Lantern, so we'll be back for that stuff. So it's still coming out. We decided to give ourselves another some more time. I started rewatching some of the episodes for Iron Fist, so we're gonna have a really good and longer discussion on that, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Again, check us out, Super Tuesday recap on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. We'll read it on air. You can email us at mtrailerreviews@movietrailerreviews.net or search for us on mtrnetwork.net. And until next time, folks, we are out of here. Peace.